an origin story. So,
right. But if I like the fact that you really got to see it all come together with all three of these main characters. How on the first one it was all about Bruce Willis's character, and the second one it was about James McAvoy's character,
Kevin.
and then you really got to see what Mr. Glass was capable of. I mean, he's
a son of a bitch.
He just seemed like just a really smart dude who loved comic books, but the dude was a certified genius.
He's a genius. He's evil as hell, but he's a genius. He's an evil mastermind.
But it's funny that because if he's like a breakable, a real fragile genius, but
he's the polar opposite.
But that's what I'm about to get to. If he was the polar opposite of Bruce Willis, but Bruce Willis wasn't an idiot.
No,
he was an average thinking man with a good heart.
And he's not average.
But I mean, like
and Samuel Jackson is not average.
Yeah, exactly. Samuel Jackson was his intellect. Was way up there.
But that's the point. Bruce Willis is an average guy. He's very strong though.
He has a good heart.
Samuel Jackson is not average intelligence, and he's very weak.
And he obviously doesn't have any moral compass
and
or
he has
care.
No moral compass.
He's willing to do whatever it takes.
Anything
to get the results. So, and then you have James McAvoy character
who's very conflicted,
just savage, and whatnot. So these guys were very interesting to see on screen all together. I like the fact that they're I don't know if I was thinking about this towards the end of the movie with Samuel L. Jackson's character, his not sidekick, but if you have to call it sidekick, I'd say sidekick was his mother, right? She gave birth to an extraordinary person. The person who played, and then Samuel Jackson, then Bruce Willis's character, her son was in it. He was the son of an extraordinary person.
I kept wondering where they were going to go with that.
I thought they were going to go somewhere, and then with the split, she was pretty much like an adopted kind of a thing. Like he let her go. He saw something in her, and kind of mentally
something was there.
It was like, I don't know if it was love or it was an adoption, maybe.
Animal senses. He sensed something.
Yeah, he sensed that like, I don't know if that was supposed to be like a kind of a mate kind of a thing.
Well,
like
he had power over her, remember? Because he's like, let me go, and he physically could not, even as the beast.
That was her gift.
She could restrain him.
She was able to, like she did in the Split movie. She was the only one that the beast really couldn't kill her. Yeah, because she was pure. That's right. And so that was interesting to see those three interact as well. What did you think about? Without giving too much away, without giving it away, because we can do spoilers, I guess, later on. Let's give them some time to see it. What did you think about the M. Night Shyamalan twists? I'm gonna say twists.
The twists I saw coming. I saw the twist coming.
You knew that was the
immediately when they started implying it. Now the one part, there's a scene with Samuel Jackson early in the movie that I did not exactly figure out right away, and then it's like aha, and then they clue you in later, and it all comes together.
I think M. Night Shyamalan purposely gave like a double or triple twist this time.
They mislead. They steer you away from the very obvious thing, and it's so obvious that you're like, oh, okay, yeah. And then at the end of the movie, you're like, oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Exactly. It was right there in plain sight the whole time.
Hide it in plain sight.
Just like the way he said about extraordinary people. They're among us. They're hiding in plain sight. And that's exactly what was happening in this whole movie. It was the plot was hiding in plain sight.
Played everybody.
Whole time.
He played everybody.
Played me. Played
the audience. He played everybody.
Probably played Night Shyamalan when he was writing. Damn, the guy played me.
Damn bitch.
Some bitch. Glass got me again. Glass is a very interesting, interesting character. And
it's a shame we don't get another movie with some of these characters again.
Yeah, M. Night says that this is it. He's rocking it up. But you know what? But if this movie makes a ton of money, they'll go with a spinoff, maybe a Netflix series.
That's the beauty, Chris. This movie doesn't have to make a ton of money. They spent $20 million on this movie, and maybe that's not including marketing. So let's say another 20 million, 40, 50 million bucks to the most.
Right.
Maybe a little more. Even if they spent 100, they're going to recoup $100 million in this movie. I am 99% sure they will make. So
you're saying that this movie is going to make over $200 million in the box office?
Worldwide, yes.
Worldwide, yeah.
Yes, absolutely. What do you think?
I think that's a safe. I'll take the over on that. I'm thinking that's probably around.
I don't know about domestic. but
Domestic?
maybe. I don't know.
Maybe
I gotta see the first weekend.
If domestically it makes 80, that's good.
Yeah.
If it makes 80, that's good. Even for the overall numbers, that's a profit just for what they need it to do. So if it makes 80 in the States, then that means the sky's the limit. I think there will be maybe not a sequel, but something should happen.
An extension,
some kind of extension. Hulu, Netflix, Amazon, something. I think M. Night has something on his hands.
He was in his element in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
Guys, filmmakers, you need to pay attention to what he did with this. He spent almost no. This does not look like a $20 million. I kept thinking that the whole movie because I knew ahead of time how much they spent. And I was like, this does not look like a $20 million
movie. Paid off
movie.
the actors, and he did some special effects.
It
kind of
looked
stuff.
so good though. Like everything was exquisite. The lighting, the filmmaking, the story. It was great. I thought he did a phenomenal job, and it's good to see Schlammerhammer back on it.
And that's something that happened at the end that made me agree with what you were saying in the middles. And they, where you know how sometimes in these movies where they'll show a flashback or maybe they'll show a scene where it's supposed to be a flashback and they make everybody look young again. I thought we were seeing that happen, that Benjamin Button effect, but I'm agreeing with you now. I think
they used original footage.
That was original footage,
but the
because
color
they used,
tone was so universal that you
on some of the flashbacks where it was original footage, it still looked like the old 2000 footage.
It looked
really good.
Yeah.
So they blended it very well.
And it makes you kind of look at Bruce. You're like, damn. Bruce is getting a little older.
It's been 19 years.
Yeah. Everybody's got a gray beard, and but
everybody looks great, and I
makes me feel old because I remember seeing Unbroken in the theaters.
Unbreakable, and the lady who plays
Unbreakable.
Samuel Jackson's mother, she's a young woman already, so they had to make
they had to really make her look old.
Like on Unbreakable, they really tried to make her look super old.
Chunky cheeks.
But it's been 19 years, so I'm sure they have to use less makeup this time. But she still looks exactly, without the makeup, she still looks exactly the same.
As soon as they showed the flashback from the original one where she's like talking to her son, oh damn, it is the same actress.
It's the same, yeah. They got all the same actors back.
The son, it took me 2 seconds because I hadn't seen this movie in
so long.
10, 15 years, and they used his original son, the one, if you guys have seen the first one, when they're putting the weights, they're trying to figure out how strong Bruce Willis is. Yeah. It's the same kid, and it's like his face never got older.
Yeah, his body got bigger, but his face stayed the same. Like, dude, grow a beard.
You got a man. It's a man child.
You got a man baby face. That
it was throwing me off a little bit. I'm not gonna lie.
Is this guy still 10? Yeah, overall.
I have never.
I liked it, man. I thought this was just as good as a Split, and from this point on, I won't just watch one movie. If I have time, I'm going to watch all 3 of these movies like back to back to back.
Oh yeah.
I'm never gonna watch just Split or just.
This is one long ass
6-hour
unbroken
movie.
trilogy.
Yeah. A 6-hour Mr. Glass mastermind. That's all I'll say. But I loved it, man. I thought it was great. I know I'm hearing that there's some split reviews on it. That's fine. But I made it funny. But I think the overall audience will enjoy it if you, especially if you like Unbreakable and Split. You're
gonna love it.
You're gonna love it. But the critics, I don't know. I guess they'll see whatever they see. And you know what? And even if I totally disagree with a critic on something, I'll still see their point sometimes. So I'll still read what they're saying, and I'll be like, oh yeah, maybe that could have been better. But I'll say this: the overall fun factor, especially if you've seen the other 2 movies, it'll all come together. You will have a lot of fun with this movie. What do you think?
I think this is a great trilogy. When you look at it, the beginning, the origins, how they find a superhero. Do they exist? Yes, they do exist. Split, we got to create a supervillain. Second, serious physical supervillain to combat this guy. Third one, we see how the villains all come together and we get a closing finality of the story. I think that whenever you get a chance, you guys should binge all 3 of these back to back. I think this is probably will go down as one of the, in my opinion, maybe people crucify, but that's wrong. I think this is one of the greatest comic book trilogies probably ever made. If you look at them as 3 movies as a whole,
even though it's not based on a real comic book,
no capes.
This is a comic book movie though, and it's a original story. So if you want to compare it to other comic book movies that aren't based on real books, this is the best one, hands down.
I think it's great.
and whatnot, and on top of that, and compared to other trilogies, because I can honestly say I like Iron Man. I like Iron Man 2 and 3. Iron Man 2 was the weakest and whatnot. I don't have those feelings with these 3 movies.
They're all good.
They're all good. I don't feel, maybe one is weaker than the other, but it's not so weak where I'm like complaining about it all day, like I am with the Iron Man trilogy, like the Thor trilogy. One is obviously very weaker than the other.
I think with this trilogy being completed, the first one, I do remember that people complained that nothing happened at the end of the first one. That it was just starting to build up, like, oh, he is strong. Oh, this is a bad guy. And then the movie ends like The Sopranos. But now, as a trilogy, you get to see what happens.
And the sky's the limit.
It's phenomenal.
I think it's time that M. Night Shyamalan gets out of Hollywood jail. I think he's officially out. And I think the studios need to give him a deal, and he should have his own production company and start make a series out of this. This universe needs to exist. And I could see it. I could see this continuing on with new people, new characters all over the world. Just keep it going. I think you have a setup where there's I don't want to say too much without giving a spoiler.
A syndicate that we don't know much about.
There is an obvious antagonist that can keep going, and there's a potential for new heroes to emerge. So we can. This was M. Night's Avengers. This was his Avengers movie. They all came together, and if you watch it all as in one movie, this was like an Avengers kind of a thing. This was his moment. So
Can you imagine what he would have crazy stuff he would have done if they gave him? Maybe it had to be a low budget. But for the next one, if they were to say here's $100 million, do an Unbroken extension, I would be interested to see what he could do. I
hope he does. Even if they offer it to him, I hope he goes, I'll take all that money and I'm going to chop it up into a bunch of series. And
give me a Netflix series.
Yeah, give him a Netflix series.
Give me $100 million and 10 episodes. I'll show you what I can do.
Even if he's not like directing all of it, I want him to at least produce it, and I still want like a twist at the end of every episode. That's what I want.
They have a twist.
The M. Night. I think it's time to give M. Night his own universe. The M. Night, the Shyamalan verse, or the M. Night verse, or whatever.
The Shammerverse.
The Shammerverse, and let him do his thing now. I think you get it for J.J. Abrams. Hell, even Tyler Perry has his own studio company.
Yeah,
now.
Tyler Perry is making. Come on, man. No disrespect, Tyler Perry. He's got some funny shit.
Making money. It's profitable, but I think it's time that M. Night gets in that. It's making money. But I think it's time M. Night Shyamalan gets a little bit of that production studio.
Just don't make Airbenders.
Stay away.
The Last Airbender was The Last Airbender.
No, they're doing a Netflix series. The creators of the cartoon are doing it. But we'll see how that turns out. Now we're getting way off. Well, no, we're not getting off subject because he did the movie. Mm-hmm. But overall, like I said, I loved it, man. Go see it. Go check it out, and we give it our thumbs up. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We had a lot of fun here with the audience that we saw. Little surprise that we got for you. So don't forget, subscribe to T3 Medias. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and right here on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button. Send us questions. We'll answer it on We Got Your Mail. And so next time, guys, I want you to check this out. We have a little surprise for you with the audience. Did you oversee the movie?
Yes.
Were you jealous that I took all the best lines?
No, I was not.
I heard that you have an ability where you shake a man's hand and you can learn what his true intentions are. Is this true?
Yeah.
Oh! Cut. Never mind. We'll keep going.